Good morning, or evening, or whatever it is where you are. Yeah, kind of disappointing actually. So far, nobody's accepted my blackjack challenge. Um, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, simply because there's a kind of a built-in assumption on the part of most people who have any connection or contact with gambling, and that is the sort of the resigned attitude that games can't be beaten. So anybody who says that they have some strategy to beat them must be a charlatan, a liar, a fraud, a crook, whatever. And of course, that's an attitude that's been vigorously promoted by the casino industry for many, many years. It's the most extraordinary thing. And I do find it absolutely amazing that people with resources, with an almost kind of bottomless bankroll, don't don't do anything to grow the bankroll. They seem to be just absolutely determined to throw money away. Witness just two guys, Mr. Handpay and Vegas Matt, who bet like they want to lose. Interesting, but I guess not surprising, really. This is how it's always been, I think. And of course, the other thing I perhaps didn't make clear enough was that anybody who does accept the challenge will need to bet against two shoes in the same way that I do. And of course would be allowed to switch the way that I do from blackjack to any other game, or reset the blackjack if the need arises. Where the hell am I now? 2-3, I think. Third. Oh, that's handy. Nice timing. It's always good to get those when the money's out. Double for the loss. Double down. Yeah, they work best when the dealer busts. There's no doubt about that. Now, I don't remember whether that... Oh dear. I'm going to have to start writing things down. I think, as I say, my problem is that I'm so spoiled by the Baccarat Win Pro platform, which shows everything on screen, so you can see exactly what you've done, right or wrong, you know. Okay, so that's 2-3 second, I think. And like I say, double downs work best when the dealer busts. So it would have been a terrible waste of a fluke if that had lost. 51 second. Busted by 1. 51 second. 2-3 third again. Double down. Okay. Can't beat that. Like to pull a 9 to a 12 once in a while. Doesn't that very often, does it? I guess that's a plus. Plus. One, two. Oh, I think that was wrong. 3-4. Yeah, it should have been just a repeat. Too late now, ain't it? Alrighty. We're not doing spectacularly, but we're not losing. That's the most important thing, isn't it? +1. Double for the tie. I've got to clear that and go back down to the plus max, 5 units. Repeat it. Back to the min. +1 for the loss. Repeat. 51 second. Repeat. Oh, double for the tie. 52. 3, 4 second. Bugger. 11, 8. Did I say second? 11. No, it's 11, 12. Third. That was well timed. Okay, so we've got £2 tucked away. Like I say, not spectacular, but in the black. That's what counts the most. Repeat. Minimum. Double for the loss. One, 2. Third. That was good. Okie dokie. Alright. 1, 2, third back to the min. Yeah, the point of the challenge was to simply say, you know, that if you bet randomly against random outcomes, you're going to lose. And obviously, excuse me, if challengers were allowed to just show a screen with a profit on it, then they could have just made one bet, one $25,000 bet, won it, and then sort of pulled out. So they've got to produce a recording of two shoes being played from start to finish. That's what matters. +1. But I didn't really expect anybody to take it up, especially the silly gamblers, because they're really in the business of making asses of themselves for the entertainment of the masses, and hopefully making money when the cameras aren't running. All right, so that's 2-3 now. Second. All right. Back to the min. Excuse me. Doing a lot of that. 10-20 and 74 degrees. That's very odd for England. What the hell is 74 degrees? That's 32, 16, 16, 16, 18. No. It's got to be more than that, isn't it? 23. Oh, that's very fancy. Must be 1 2/3, isn't it? 3 2 drop. Oh dear. 3 2 6 2. We just wasted 3 there. 6 2. Six two it is. Okay, 2 3. 1 2 3. Yeah, it's all pure logic and arithmetic, this strategy, but it doesn't fit in with the brief that these carnival barkers have on YouTube, and it doesn't appeal to most gamblers because they want the uncertainty and the excitement and the jeopardy, and they want to. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think they just want to feel bad, and it's weird. Gamblers gamble to lose, players play to win. That was my little slogan a while back. Where was I? Well, I think we made that one rather nicely, and we're coming to the end of shoe 1. Oh, bugger. That's such a nice catch. That's a better catch, isn't it? 51 second. Repeat it. Good news. Yellow card coming? There it is. Yeah, one thing I've lost track of lately is the count. I haven't made a note of it for quite some time, haven't paid any attention to it for quite some time, and that's largely because I honestly do not believe that it has any useful function other than helping the casinos promote the idea that the games can be beaten, but of course they'll only promote that idea while also promoting an idea that a methodology which ultimately will cause problems for the player. There are a couple of things on YouTube that I think are pretty fascinating, done by sort of presented by card counters who put up numbers frame after frame, plus 55,000 at the end of the day, plus 40,000, plus 22,000, all this sort of thing, and I just find it really quite extraordinary because all the research that I've done on card counting suggests that you may actually be worse off when the deck value is so-called player friendly. Kind of interesting. Anyway, double for the loss. Oh, 1 2 third. That was pretty. Back to the min. Yeah, not exactly a earth-shattering session this, but better than nout. Double down. Nice one. 3,000 up. Double for the loss. Yeah, I think I got to the point where no day would feel right if I didn't have a couple of sessions of blackjack and baccarat to throw up onto the channel. I've also grown very fond of my mouse. I found yesterday, the pocket mouse I'm going to call him Money Mouse. Do you remember Mighty Mouse? Does anybody remember Mighty Mouse? He was amazing. Maybe I should find a picture of him as well and drop it in. I will do that. Did I win? Must be a repeat then, mustn't it? 51 second. 2-3 third. 1-2-3 third. 5-3 drop. 5-3 it is. 1-2-3. 8-6. That'll work. 2-3. 1-2-3. Looks like a double down to me. Shouldn't have been. 2, 3, 8, 9 second. Bloody hell. Oh, that was rotten. 17-20. Oh, long grass now. Bugger shit and damn, as they say in polite circles. Oh, blimey, O'Reilly, this could be nasty. Well, it wasn't. So that shot us ahead rather nicely, didn't it? What was the bet? 2,000. Yeah, I like that. These are the things that, of course, make the difference in the end, because I mean, I get pushback from people sort of saying, well, like if you got a minimum bet as low as 25, you're just not going to make any money. Well, it's nonsense, because you make your money from the big wins. The whole idea of the low, and I'm not sure that many people would think of $25 as being a low minimum, but anyway, the whole point about that is it gives you spread, so it gives you wings, if you like. It gives you room. So that if you get into trouble, you can save the day, but you make your money from the big bets. There is absolutely no doubt about that. I've got to build that back into the new model set, actually, where it looks at so how much do you make when the bet is under 500, and how much do you make when the bet is lower, and what is the count of bets below blah 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 blah. I admit I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed about the numbers of, the numbers involved in gambling, and that's a bloody long way. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm not even going to win it. Double for the loss. Double down. All right, so. Where the hell are we at now? 2-3. Third. 5-3. Drop. Oh, like that one. 5-3 it is. 1, 2, 3. 8-6. Oh, that was a rotten thing. 8-6, 14, 15. I think this is only second, isn't it? Oh, so that's got to be 3. Well, it will be 3-3, but I'm going to make it 3-3.5, because it's silly to do it any other way. Look at that. See, now that was a lucky break, but I think anybody who's played this game for any time at all understands that lucky breaks cut both ways. I mean, that was a lucky break. Alexa,
this is a reminder.
Be quiet. And I will drink water. No, that was a nice one. So now we're 6,575 ahead. And yeah, I suppose if I start putting mouse pictures in here, it kind of makes it look a little bit sort of trivial. And it's a very serious business, this. Beating these damn games is a very serious business. Back to the min with 6.5 grand in the bank and quite a long way to go. Well, with a lot more than that in the bank, but I mean, wins this time. That was a loss, wasn't it? Nice try there. 1, 2, third. 3, 2, drop. 4, 2. 5, 2. 5, 2. 6, 2. 7, 2. Well, how long is this going to go on? 8, 2. Finally. 8, 2 it is. That's not ideal. 8, 2, so that's 5, 4. I'll take all of that win. Excuse me, 5, 4. 9, 10. Long grass again. Bugger! It's already a turnaround, isn't it? So I won't mess with that. Alright, so we came out of that fine. Ba-bum-ba-dum. Double down. +1. +1. Yeah, I keep on beating this game, and yet nobody's going to accept that this is a winning strategy. And of course, what they're saying is that, yeah, you know, you make 6,000 here and 10,000 there and 7,000 there and 12,000 there, but when the bust comes, it'll wipe you out. That's the prediction, that's the attitude, the belief, and that of course is what the casinos promote. The idea that if you have the temerity to challenge their system, then the hammer will come down and completely obliterate you as punishment for your heresy. So anyway, where were we? Oh, that's what? +1 again. Plus uno max, so that's the plus max, 5 units. Alright, so we'll repeat that one. And now we're looking at 3, 4, third. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, third. That's a double, isn't it? Made a bit of money there then, didn't we? Now we're at 7,625 up. Oh, a little bit of flip, whatever. +1 for the win. It's a repeater. Okay, back to the min. Running out of shoe again. It's a plusy oney for the win. Uh, 51 second. 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, third. 1, 2, 3. Come on! Oh boy. Well, that was nice. I like that. So we're at 8,000 now. Back to the min. With maybe 2 or 3 rounds left. That was a nice one up there. Well done. Well, that was a good last hand, wasn't it? Okay. Do the print screen. All right then, folks. So that was, let's see, 8,187.50 in less than 25 minutes, which I think is good. Okay then, so this is what a happy accident looks like. And because I know that there are likely to be people out there who say, oh, yeah, you knew what was coming in advance and you did that deliberately and blah, 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 blah. What can I say? I'm going to attach the full analysis after this, but I just wanted to pop this in because it just picks out the bit where I boo-booed. You can see the 3,500 bet there, which should have been 500 as a drop, and then so that would have been 3.5 with a drop of 500, and then it would have become 1,500, and then it would become 4,000, 3,000, and so on. And you just follow it all the way down, and what you see is that ultimately I'd end up with certainly not less by way of a profit, and following this particular pattern, which is just pattern betting as it's normally played, except that I put in a 25,000 max, which is not normally part of the plan. But I'm trying to be as even-handed and as accurate and as reasonable as possible, because there is a lot of strange opposition out there. Because, as I keep saying in these demos, to me, it's just logic that this is the way to go. It's just arithmetic, whatever you want to call it. So I don't really get, why people are so opposed to this, and as I say, I just have to kind of, in a paranoid kind of way, think, well, I think if somebody was looking at this in an unbiased, sensible kind of a way, they'd see the value of what I'm saying and what I'm doing. But if they have an agenda which excludes a balanced look at the data that I'm providing, then obviously they're going to go a different way. They're shilling for a casino or doing like these people used to do back in the day. I mean, I was absolutely bombarded, and some of it was from people writing software programs which claimed to enable you to beat blackjack their way, and of course I dismissed all of those. I'm an arrogant bastard, I know, but what can I do? I've developed this thing which is very, very simple. It simply blends progressive betting, which is the only way you can hope to win in the long run against negative expectation games. It blends progressive betting with kind of like self-defense, if you like, so that once you hit a prolonged mean streak, you drop back and you kind of wait, and you wait for a win trigger, and then bang, you go for it. But basically, you don't ever more than double your prior bet. And there are circumstances where I do add a little bit more, and I've explained all of that in countless demos. So all I can do is just put this stuff in front of people, and if they don't want to believe it, that's up to them. I have no problem with that. As much as anything, I'm just anxious to get on the record, permanently on the record, with this idea, which let's be absolutely clear about this, is an attack on the casinos. I think the casinos deserve to be attacked. I think they deserve to have their bottom line crimped very severely. And I think there ought to be legislation, and I can only talk for the UK because I'm no longer living in the United States, but there ought to be legislation which protects the people behind the scenes who lose money without placing a bet and without even knowing that a bet is going to be placed. And this is what happens so much, and this is where the big social damage is done. And I'm not a prude. I'm not morally judging gambling as such. I am morally judging the compliance, the partnership between politicians and gambling operators, which needs to be reset very severely, in my opinion, or the damage is going to get worse. Because what's happening these days is that more and more kids are gambling. I mean, sort of like young kids from 10 on. And yeah, I've said many times, I started playing blackjack back when it was called pontoon, and I was a kid in boarding school, aged 9 or 10. But I wasn't playing for thousands or hundreds or serious money. I was pissing around for pennies, and that's where I started to get very interested in the game, and started to be, just a little inkling that maybe there was a way to beat it. And I kept beating my buddies at the game, and I wasn't stealing from them, and I wasn't whacking them with sticks or anything like that. I was just playing what I could figure out as being the sort of the optimal way to tackle the challenge. Anyway, I've rambled on too much, so I'm stopping now. Bye. Okay, then. So here's the a detailed, very precise analysis of the last two shoes played against the Wiz. And I can't do anything about the people who say that the Wizard Sim is somehow corrupt or I don't know, able to be interfered with by somebody like me, vulnerable to hacking, attacking, or it's all such nonsense, But there's so much nonsense that comes out in support of the casino position with these games of chance that all you can do is just say, "Oh, to hell with it," Anyway, what we're looking at is a win of 8,188, which is what you just saw at the end of the round by round, bet by bet session. And the shoe was in fact player friendly, which is good news and bad news. The good news is, of course, that we made money yet again. The bad news is that I'm much happier when I beat a shoe which has more player losses than wins, because that demonstrates the pattern betting strategy, methodology, whatever you want to call it, more effectively. But you got to take the rough with the smooth, and you got to put up with a soft shoe when you get one. As far as random betting is concerned, this was a fairly tight pair of shoes, in the sense that the number of wins and losses was in fact a negative from a gross sense. Gross is where you count every win and loss as just a single win or loss. So you say, okay, if you get a natural, it's a +1, not a +1.5. And you win a double down, it's a +1 and not a +2. That's what it's all about. The net actual value is a different thing. The net is where you sort of say, okay, so you add all the bets at not full value in terms of money on the table, but full value in terms of, was it a double, was it a natural, was it a whatever, a split, and so on, So you get a different story slightly. What we're looking at up here is that this last time, pattern betting achieved an average win of 366 against an average loss of 181, which is over 200%. That's a 200% player edge, and I'm in favour of that myself. I think that's a good thing. Looking at all of this, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that it's impossible for anybody with a brain to demolish this strategy, but unfortunately the people with brains tend not to be gamblers. I'm admitting that because I enjoy gambling, I must have a screw loose, and I feel the same way about everybody else who walks into a casino, particularly the people who go into a casino expecting that somehow the odds are not going to hurt them. They're going to have a miracle, like the bullet that missed a few days ago, and somehow they're going to, you know, come out with more money than they went in. It's a tricky situation, really, to try and get this whole thing across, but all I can do is try. It's the old thing. Horse, water, drink, as I very often say. To my considerable annoyance, Dumbledown, my name for the simple martingale, scores yet again, and that's really not a surprise because it's progressive betting in its simplest form, and it's it's just likely to do well until it doesn't, until you suddenly get a run of maybe, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, 20 losses in a row, which can happen. My personal experience goes back to the Union Plaza, which I think now is long gone from downtown Las Vegas. I'm not sure, I haven't checked lately, but I had 23 consecutive losses. I still ended up at the end of play, and it was a long session, but I ended up in the black. I didn't make a huge amount of money, but I certainly recovered all my losses. And in the same session, I at one point had 16 consecutive wins. So 23 to 16. You know, you get a sense of how, in a worst case scenario, the bank, the house edge bites down and does you in. I have, as I promised I would, I've added an analysis to this and to all future models that takes a look at how many bets of 500 and below are there and how many bets above 500 are there, and then comparing what happens in terms of in terms of effect, if you like. So what we've got here is we've got 101 bets of 500 and below, and that's 91% of all bets there were, as you can see over here. Well, it was actually, it's 111 bets, I think. So what we're looking at is 91% of bets were 500 or below, 9% were 501 or more. The small bets accounted for a win of 888. Oh, it's showing pounds again. I forget to turn that off. I'm sorry about that. That's just something that that happens. Obviously, because I'm in the UK, the program is preconditioned or set to pounds, and I have to make a special effort to change it. So I'm going for Cherokee dollars because that's at the top of the list. Oh, fiddle, fuck, faddle and foo. I forgot, of course, that messes up the... never mind, I'm just going to leave it as it is. It's just not worth the bother. What it does is it changes the percentages there into dollars as well, which is, you know, yeah. But it is going to annoy the crap out of me if I leave it like that, so I'm just going to have to fix it. Sorry and all, fast forward. Yeah, I definitely have some serious issues when it comes to OCD, but I think I'm doing a pretty damn good job myself, though I says it as shouldn't, as they say up north in England. So there we are. Oh, fuck. Pardon me, I forgot the negatives. I don't like to see negatives not showing in red because that's much more dramatic. Okay, so there you have it. You know, that's the story. You've got 11% of the money of the profit comes from small bets, and then 91% of the total number of bets. High bets are 9% of the total of all bets, and they supply 89% of the profit. If you look down here at the red line thing, that of course is the win-loss, and you can see that for the early part of this session we were pretty much having it all our own way. We had some bumps, but these little ups and downs are exactly what I'm talking about all the time. Alexa, stop. They're exactly what I'm talking about all the time. The little sort of blip, 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 you know. And these are the things that enable us to make our money and to keep on doing it consistently. If you go over here and you look at the OKs, you'll see that sometimes they require two wins in a row to deliver a win. But here, you know, this one was for 1200. That was just an isolated win. Further down, the win down here was that's 3 wins actually. But every so often, you know, I mean, down here, this is an isolated win that delivers the end of. Oh, that was a lucky one, wasn't it? You bet 2,000 and get a double down, a winning double down. I mean, that's great stuff. That's what we all want to see. What else we got going here? I'm doing some sort of like cleaning up here, which is rude of me, but can't help it. Okay, so there we are. I've left Jason and Matt in place here as a tribute to their incredibly bad play. They're not, as I expected, to be honest. They're not responding to my challenge. I hope they might, because I wouldn't mind a bit of publicity. I'd like to get the word out, and so far it's not getting out to many. Handful of people. But you know, sometimes these things take time. I'm not investing vast amounts of money in promoting the channel, which apparently is you know, a big thing. You know, if you give Google money, they will take care of you and put you at the top of a lot of lists. I'm not concerned about that. I think eventually, you know, this will catch on, like the blog. I mean, that had a slow start, and I was sort of like really kind of just talking to myself for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden, wham, you know. And once in a while, I mean, I get somebody in Hong Kong or Australia or even Russia will just go nuts and read everything, and so I'll get all these hits that blow it out of all proportion. Singapore is another place. I had somebody reading everything for days after days after days after days, and I'm thinking, my goodness, this is somebody who really takes the game seriously, and that's great. You know, that's really wonderful. Anyway, I'm done now, so I'll see you later. Bye.